If there is anything I want you to take from this video is that AMC's recent weekly performance has outperformed expectations to such a degree that it has quite literally changed the way hedge funds short it. Over the last 5 trading days, AMC has been on a bullish run, moving from $9 to over $12 today. This rally came after some hashtags started trending on Twitter, and many new investors decided to hop in. With this development, something more interesting happened. I caught notice that hedge funds attacks stopped frequenting. We saw the typical end of the day dip, but for the most part the attacks stopped. Because of this, I have been warning people to beware, as something was going to come out the pipeline. Today we got to experience for the first time in a week what I meant. We started the day incredibly bullish, rising the stock to 12.22. Right after this surge, the stock didn't consolidate as it has been doing over the last couple of days. In fact, the stock experienced a massive vertical dip down to 11.32 before a bounce up. The stock was left alone, and AMC managed to break the $12 resistance twice with no effort. However, it was at 12:30 p.m., at this exact precise moment, that the stock out of nowhere experienced another vertical dip. The precision of the perfect time frame at 12:30 is the key factor here. It implies to me that this is a perfectly executed algorithmic-induced price attack. I believe hedge funds to have been waiting and planning for days ahead when the attack was going to happen, and they chose a time frame where the stock tends to be relatively calm to induce this dip. I want to stress to you guys, to not be scared, and don't let this stop you from buying or even worse, cause you to sell. I have seen many people asking why dip it today? Why not wait until Wednesday as hedge funds have done in typical fashion to start attacking? The reason for this is simple. First, they know we expect them to do that. Second, with growing momentum, they cannot afford themselves for these stocks to keep rallying. It could literally trigger a squeeze, so they must act promptly. And third, one of the reasons for the magnitude of the attack was due to hedge funds withholding for days. They were able to concentrate and impose more resources in a single big attack, rather than spread out the attacks. As I said, the attacks sort of stopped or were pretty small over the last week in comparison to what we have been victim to over the last couple of months. One of the things most investors, in particular new investors to AMC and GME2, often forget is that it is strategically important for hedge funds and other shorters to not only attack the stocks directly though naked shorts, but also through ETFs. I took the liberty today to look up the price action of some of the biggest ETFs that carried AMC, and found that they too also suffered short attacks at the same time frame, 12:30 p.m., as AMC Stock did. This further adds proof that not only are hedge funds willing to illegally print naked shares to cover positions, but also willing to attack ETFs, certain indexes and pretty much any security as long as they think they can get away with it. Out of the 28 ETFs that track AMC, over a staggering 25 experienced an attack at 12:30 p.m. This is an increase in proportional attack that I don't remember seeing since January. It is quite sickening that they can get away with doing this so often and the government doesn't even raise an eyebrow. It really says a lot from the SEC to not launch an investigation or make a public statement when dozens of ETFs and AMC and GME securities along with some indexes all start collapsing at the exact same time. But that's to be expected. Keeping it classy as always, SEC. What a bunch of tools. Another interesting piece of the puzzle today was that unusual option activity was reported. I have covered how hedge funds introduce and hide naked shares using deep in the money options, and today when the prices dip, we also see unusual option volume activity. I am currently working with someone to input a lot of option data into an AI software to configure and find out how many naked shares there have potentially released into the market by hedge funds. I want to release a big video on this, and I will try to get it out by Sunday, though I am not making promises it will come out then. It is a ton of work, so do please be patient. I will, however, announce when the video is ready via Twitter, so be sure to follow me there, link down in the description. Now, let's discuss the price action of today, and predict where we are most likely to move in tomorrow. Before I get to that, however, I want to stress that these predictions are based on what is the most likely outcome based on my own technical analysis and tools that I use to measure probability. Hedge funds, as displayed today, are on a different set of guidelines and operating under different rules. As such, be open-minded to change as anything can happen since hedge funds are not being regulated at all. We started pre-market a lot more bullishly than anticipated. We moved up and consolidated between 11.70 and 11.90. About an hour and a half before markets opened we dipped a little. Upon market opening at 9:30, AMC surged to 12.22. It then quickly experienced a weird nonsensical dip. We have seen AMC be able to consolidate around BWAP when it dips after a surge, that this dip was so disproportional that it shut it down to 11.32. The stock was still very bullish, and many new investors took opportunity to buy that dip, which created an ascending triangle pattern. Funny enough, this ascending triangle converged at 12 p.m. This is when I started noticing something funny. AMC dipped a tinny bit but did not move vertically anywhere. At this point, with this much pressure, AMC should have shot upwards based on buying data analysis at that particular point. That is not what happened. It was attempting repeatedly to move up, but it wasn't allowed to. At 12:30 p.m., AMC started receiving ladder attacks. I counted 6 different ladder attacks that ultimately dropped the price to 11.22, which was around 3 p.m. After that, many people took advantage and started buying the stock. A huge volume surge occurred for the next couple of minutes until markets closed. Hedge funds, however, attempted to break the price action, which is why the stock didn't close over 11.76 where it should have, since that is where the VWAP line is. However, the attempted short attack was still unsuccessful, as AMC still ended the day at 11.46, a mere 6-cent difference below yesterday's closing price of, I believe, 11.52. As for tomorrow's price action, here is where I think we move. AMC will be trading between 11.35 and 11.55. Over the last 5 days, AMC has been opening up with a strong bullish candle. I don't see hedge funds attacking this since it's when the stock is strongest at the moment. I expect an attack to occur between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. The dips will test a support wall at 11.32. Keep in mind AMC builds support lines every 10 cents, so expect to find support and a bounce every 10-cent difference below that. The strongest support walls are at 11.25 and at $11. Expect the biggest resistance wall at 11.75, $12 and at 12.20. If before 12 p.m. tomorrow we are above 11.75, it will be a sign of incredible strength. If we are below 11.25, we will definitely be testing $11 support wall either close to closing market or the next day on Thursday. I expect hedge funds to AMC up their attacks, so get ready to get dirty again. A lot of the model depends on the support and rally of AMC, so be sure to keep spreading good faith and good information to other new investors. With that said, I want to thank you for tuning in. Like the video and subscribe for more, and let me know if you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments how many shares of AMC or GME you guys have. I am curious. I will see you all tomorrow.